Today's club in the A to Z 92 is a club that has received some light here in the US recently, Birmingham City. Birmingham City was formed in 1875 as Small Heath Alliance. 10 years later, they would turn professional, and later after, they would become the first football club to become a limited company with a board of directors. They would play in the Football Alliance and would be invited along with other Alliance clubs to join the new Football League 2nd Division in 1892. They would go on to win the 2nd Division but wouldn't be promoted due to the test match system. Though next season, they would finish 2nd and also gain promotion through the test match system. In 1905, they would adopt the name Birmingham Football Club and move to their current ground, St. Andrews. In 1908, Birmingham would be relegated back down to the 2nd Division. Through the help of Scottish international John Crosby and Frank Womack, Birmingham would win the 2nd Division in the 1920 season. In 1931, the club reached its first FA Cup final, losing 2-1 to West Brom. Right before the Second World War, in 1939, Birmingham was relegated. They would go on to win the 2nd Division in the 1947 season. Even though they were relegated in 1950, they would come back up in the 1954 season. The following season, they would achieve their highest ever league finish at 6th, and also reach another FA Cup final, losing 3-1 to Manchester City. For those who don't know, this is the game where City's keeper Bert Trautmann played with a broken bone in his neck for the last 20 minutes of the game. Birmingham would be the first English club to participate in European competition, participating in the Intercities Fairs Cup in 1956. In 1960, they were also the first English club to reach a European final, being beaten by Barcelona. One achievement, though, is that they would be the only English club to win at the San Siro until Arsenal achieved it in 2003. In 1963, they would reach the League Cup final against local rivals Aston Villa. Birmingham would go on to win the game 3-1, winning their first major trophy. In 1965, they were relegated back down to the 2nd Division. In the 1980s, Jim Smith led the club to promotion back into the 1st Division, though after a poor run of form, was replaced by former Villa manager Ron Saunders. Though this wouldn't help, as in 1984, the club was relegated. Although from here, everything would go downhill. In the last game of the next season against Leeds, there was a riot that would eventually lead to the death of a boy. This occurred on the same day as the Bradford City Stadium fire. This would eventually lead to an inquiry of safety of stadiums. Saunders would leave the club after a defeat to non-league side Altrincham, staff would eventually be laid off, and the training ground was sold. In 1989, Birmingham would be relegated to the 3rd Division for the first time in their history. In 1992, the club was in administration until David Sullivan bought the club for £700,000. In the 1994 season, they would win the 3rd Division along with the FA Trophy. In 2001, they reached the League Cup final against Liverpool, losing on penalties. In the 2001 season, they would win the playoffs, gaining promotion to the Premier League. In July of 2007, Carson Young became majority shareholder after buying 29.9% of shares with intentions of a complete takeover. The club would go up and down from the Championship to the Prem until Young's complete takeover in 2009, where they would achieve a 9th place finish in the Prem season. They would also go on to win the League Cup in 2011, defeating Arsenal 2-1 in the final, gaining qualification to the Europa League, though they would be relegated this same season, meaning Birmingham City was playing European football while in the Championship. They wouldn't reach the knockout round in the Europa League and would also lose in the playoffs that season. Though after this season, Birmingham wouldn't be promoted again, they would be battling against relegation. In 2014, Young would step down from any position he had in the club and would be sentenced to 6 years for money laundering. Eventually, Shelby Companies Limited purchased a controlling stake in the club. And recently, Tom Brady, the greatest American football player of all time, became minority owner and would sit on the advisory board. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to see the next video, which will be about Blackburn Rovers. They'll be coming out shortly. Thank you.